Happy morning, dear students. Today we are going to discuss about the cyanotic heart disease conditions. Under that, the condition is tetralogy of palate. Here, the tetralogy of palate, this condition is comes under the right to left shunt. Right to left shunt means here the right side of the heart is having deoxygenated blood. Left side of the heart is having oxygenated blood. So what happened here? Deoxygenated blood may enter into the oxygenated side. So what happened? That is right to left shunt is there. So what happened here? Child is suffer with the cyanosis. These are the conditions are cyanotic heart diseases. Okay, here the tetralogy of palate, that condition is most common cyanotic congenital heart diseases. Okay, these conditions is characterized by total 4 conditions, a combination of 4 diseases. That is, first one is pulmonary stenosis. Here the pulmonary stenosis, it is an cyanotic heart disease. Okay, child is suffered with the pulmonary stenosis. And second one is ventricular septal defect. Here the ventricles in between the right ventricular and left ventricle is having some septum. Here some septal defect is there. That is the second condition is ventricular septal defects. And third one is overriding of the aorta. Here the aorta is having overriding. So this is the third condition. And fourth condition is right ventricular hypertrophy. Here the right ventricular hypertrophy is there. So these 4 conditions are comes under the tetralogy of palate. Means here the child is having these 4 conditions because of decreased pulmonary blood flow. Okay, so child is suffered with the cyanotic conditions. This is the right to left shunt conditions. Okay, this is about the tetralogy of palate. All of you clear? Nothing is there. Child is suffered with the 4 conditions in the tetralogy of palate. That is pulmonary stenosis, ventricular septal defects, overriding of the aorta, and right ventricular hypertrophy. All of you clear? And coming to the introduction. What is introduction of a tetralogy of palate? It is the most common complex congenital heart defects. And here it is accounts for 6 to 10% of all congenital heart diseases. Okay, here these conditions, that is cyanotic heart disease conditions, 6 to 10% of all congenital heart disease, it may be accompanied or accounts. Okay, this is about the introduction. The 4 abnormalities of tetralogy of palate includes the following. What are the 4 conditions? The large non-restrictive VSD, and then aortic overriding, pulmonary stenosis, and right ventricular hypertrophy. These are the 4 conditions are associated with the TOF condition, that is tetralogy of palate conditions. What are the 4 conditions? VSD, aortic overriding, or pulmonary stenosis, and then right ventricular hypertrophy. And coming to the pathophysiology and then etiology. Here the pathophysiology is depending upon 4 conditions. Remember that. First we will discuss about VSD pathophysiology. The degree of cyanosis is depends on the size of the VSD, and then degree of right ventricular outflow tract obstruction, that is RVOT, is depending upon the size of the VSD. Here the ventricles is having septum. One opening is there. In between the 2 ventricles, that is right ventricular and left ventricle, septum is there. Because if it is the septum is very narrowed, small hole is there, means that time cyanosis will not that much is there. If the big septal defect is there, what happen? The cyanosis is there. Why the cyanosis is there? Here the right side of the heart is having deoxygenated. This deoxygenated blood may enter into the left side of the heart. So when the ventricle contraction, that blood is moves to the aorta. So here the blue color is deoxygenated, this red color is oxygenated. What happened? This left side, the bluish color also is there. So the deoxygenated blood may enter into the left ventricle. So child is suffered with the cyanosis. Okay, all of you clear? That is about the cyanosis of VSD. And next, obstruction of the blood flow from the right ventricle to the pulmonary artery. Now we will discuss about the pulmonary stenosis. pathophysiology. That is, the obstruction is from the right ventricular and pulmonary artery, results the deoxygenated blood being shunt across the VSD and into the aorta. So that is called as right to left shunt. We will see in this image. Here what happened, here the pulmonary, second condition is pulmonary stenosis. No, here the because of narrowing of the pulmonary artery, where this pulmonary artery is there in the ventricle region, right ventricular region. So what happened, because of pulmonary stenosis, this whatever the deoxygenated blood will not move above the pulmonary artery. So what happened here, the one hole is there, no, in between that septum. Okay, what happened, this deoxygenated blood may enter into the left side of the heart. So here it is called as, it is moving from right side to left side, so it is called as right to left shunt. All of you clear? So why it is occur, because of the pulmonary stenosis, right to left shunt is there. Okay, and next one is right ventricular outflow tract obstruction can occur at any of all of the following three levels. Okay, here the pulmonary stenosis is having three levels. No, this class is over. That is a cyanotic condition, PS condition. Pulmonary stenosis, where the cyanosis is there, pulmonary valvular stenosis, infundibule stenosis, and supravalvular stenosis. Infundibule means subvalvular stenosis. Total here the stenosis, the pulmonary stenosis is three is there. That is valvular, supravalvular, subvalvular stenosis. It is depending upon the right ventricular outflow tract obstruction. All of you clear? This is about the pathophysiology of pulmonary stenosis. And next, coming to the right ventricular become hypertrophy as a result of increased gradient across the right ventricular outflow tract. So here the hypertrophy is there. Here the hypertrophy, right ventricle is having hypertrophy because of increased blood flow, because the pulmonary stenosis child is suffered with the right ventricular hypertrophy, and minimal right ventricular outflow tract obstruction results in a pink tetralogy of Palette variant. Here the what is pink tetralogy of Palette means, here if it is minimal, the right ventricular outflow tract obstruction, if it is minimal means very narrow, very small it is there, that time baby is not having that much of cyanosis. So the pink TOF is there. With the physiology is having more like a large non-restrictive VSD. The VSD is big, ventricular septal defect is big, that time child is having cyanosis. Okay, this is. And next, coming up to that, pathophysiology is there. All of you clear? And coming to the manifestations, that is clinical manifestations are variable and is depending upon the size of the VSD and the degree of right ventricular outflow tract obstruction. Here the VSD, this ventricular septal defect, if it is very small, child is not having that much of cyanosis. If it is very big, deoxygenated blood may enter into the left ventricle and enter into the aorta. So here the aorta is having oxygenated blood actually, but here the blue color is there, no, that is deoxygenated blood. So child is suffered with the cyanosis. That is the main clinical features. Why it is occur means because of it is depending upon the ventricular septal defect. Sorry. Next, coming to the cyanosis, here the child is having, neonate may have normal oxygen saturations, or infant grows, the right ventricular outflow tract obstruction increase and the oxygen saturation is false. Okay, if it is first, if it is obstruction is very small, child is having normal oxygen levels. Okay, and increased and oxygen saturation levels is decreased. Why? Because right ventricular outflow tract obstruction is increased, child is having decreased saturation levels. Next, coming to the cyanosis, here child is having, that child means neonate may have normal oxygen saturations. When it is the right ventricular hypertrophy, right ventricular obstruction is very small, child is having normal oxygen saturation. And the infant grows, the saturation levels is needed more, the oxygen saturation level. So, child is suffered with the falling of the oxygen saturations because of right ventricular outflow tract obstruction. So, whenever child is grown up, the saturation is needed, oxygen is needed. So, child is suffer with the decreased oxygen saturations. Okay, a neonate with unacceptable low oxygen saturation needs PGE, that is infusion, to maintain the ductal patency, and adequate oxygen saturation should be maintained. Okay, and then cyanosis may initially be with the crying and with the exercise. By initially means when the child is having irritable, child is having crying, that time only cyanosis will be there. And when the baby is having physical activity is increased, that time also is child is suffered with the cyanosis. But later when the child is grown up, the automatically child is having cyanotic spells. Okay, and coming to the next clinical feature, that is polycythemia. Because of reduction of the RBC, here the child is having polycythemia. Okay, look at this here. The child is the lower extremities also is having some discoloration, that is deposition of the red blood cells is there. The face also is having deposition, and then sometimes child is having bleeding nose also. Okay, that is polycythemia vera and polycythemia, and then decreased exercise tolerance also is there. Okay, and a common clinical manifestations years ago was squatting. Here when the child is in the squatting position, it is automatically it is characterized assumed by the older children to increase the systemic valvular resistance and encourage increased pulmonary blood flow. The squatting is rarely seen currently because tetralogy of palate is now surgically repaired during the first year of the life. Before that, the knee chest position they are using. Okay, after that, that time also child is not having proper oxygen saturation levels. That time they go for the surgical interventions. Okay, that is. And next one is hypercyanotic spells. Next clinical feature is child is suffered with the hypercyanotic spells, means formerly known as dead spells. Look at that image. Child is having cyanotic spells over the face, extremities is there. A life-threatening hypoxic event with a dramatic disease in oxygen saturation. Mechanism is usually infundibular spans. Okay, these are the condition mostly we will see in the cyanotic, hypercyanotic spells in this tetralogy of palate conditions only. Okay, and for that, here the mechanism is usually infundibular spans with a further obstruction, pulmonary blood flow, and the increased right to left flow across the VST. Typically, hypoxic spells occur in the morning soon after the awaking. Means here the during lying down position, during the rest period, baby is having normal oxygen saturation. Whenever baby is having physical activity, means whenever baby is wake up, that time only child is having cyanosis. During and after the crying episode, child is having cyanosis, and during and after the feeding, child is having cyanosis, and during painful procedures such as blood drawing, that time also is child is suffered with the cyanosis. Okay, this is about the clinical feature of hypercyanotic spells. And next is typical scenario includes tachypnea, irritability, and increased cyanosis, followed by the flaccidity and loss of consciousness is there. Okay, these are the clinical features. Additionally, child is suffered. Look at this image, how the child is look like. The extremities is having cyanosis, bluish discoloration is there, face also. Okay, and coming to the home treatment for the caregivers, who should educate to the caregivers or parents. Infant placed in a knee chest position, if and then notify the healthcare provided immediately. How, whether that child is suffered with any cyanosis, and then notify and go for the next management. That is hospital treatment includes, that is knee chest position, and then to administer the sedatives, that is morphine, it should be administered, and go for the to prevent the cyanosis and administer the oxygen to that baby. And next medications are beta adrenergic blockers, that is propranolol, isomalol, to relax the infundibulum. Okay, so you should be administered the beta adrenergic drugs. And administration of medications to increase the systemic vascular resistance. Those drugs are high phenylalanine. These are the drugs should be administered for increase the systemic vascular resistance. And next one is hypercyanotic spells usually prompt the cardiologist to refer for surgical intervention. You should refer the, if it is the hypercyanotic spells is recurrently appear, so you should refer the cardiologist. Next, coming to the diagnostic evaluations, whenever you are auscultating the baby's heart sounds, the heart's systolic ejection murmurs hard best at the upper left sternal border. Okay, and the single second heart sounds during a hypercyanotic spells, the murmurs is disappear. This is about the auscultation of tetralogy of palate babies. Okay, what are the sounds we are heardable? That is hypercyanotic spell, that murmurs is disappear. When it is means the single second heart sound, that time only it will be disappear. Okay, and coming to the chest x-ray, that is normal or decreased pulmonary vascular marking is there. The heart may appear boot shape because of concave main pulmonary artery with a upturned apex, resulting the right ventricular hypertrophy. Look at this image, how the heart look like. That is an boot shaped heart. In which condition it is there? Boot shaped heart means in the cyanotic heart disease condition only this boot shaped heart is there. Because of right ventricular hypertrophy, child whenever we are doing the chest x-ray, the heart look like an boot shape. This is an viva question. And they are asking questions, boot shaped heart in which condition is there? It is cyanotic conditions or acyanotic conditions? It is an acyanotic conditions. Boot shaped heart is there in the tetralogy of palate conditions. Okay, all of you clear? This is about the diagnostic evaluation of chest x-ray. Coming to the ECG, ECG variant normal or right ventricular hypertrophy, it may shows. And coming to the 2D echo with Doppler study and color flow mapping to identify the structural abnormalities, estimate the degree of right ventricular outflow tract obstruction, and assess the coronary artery pattern. Everything should be evaluated. And coming to the cardiac catheterization may be performed before surgical intervention to identify the location and number of VSDs and PVR and the degree of right ventricular outflow tract obstruction and presence of any coronary artery abnormal should be evaluated by the cardiac catheterization. All of you clear? These are the diagnostic evaluations. And coming to the medical management, here the medical management is to monitor the oxygen saturation levels, monitor the growth and development, monitor for the hypercyanotic spells, and then to check about the infective endocarditis, that is prophylactic management should be given for the lifelong, and restrict the strenuous activity and then participation in the competitive sports. Okay, if it is grown-up children, they are participate in the competitive sports, no? So those children who are having tetralogy of palate conditions, we should restrict the extraneous activities. Okay, and then the surgical intervention, if the child is suffered with the cyanotic spells, so the intervention is balloon pulmonary angioplasty. Okay, these surgery should be done rarely. Okay, this is about the medical management. Coming to the surgical interventions. Here the surgical intervention is divided into two, that is palliative versus definitive repair. Many centers prefer the definitive, that is definitive surgeries. Once one stage repair, that is potential obstacles for one stage repair, abnormal coronary artery distribution may. Here the multiple child is suffered with the multiple VSD, that time hypoplastic branch pulmonary artery, the small infant weighing the less than 5.5 lb, that time only they should do the this VSD. But if it is VSD condition, they are doing this definitive repairs. Okay, we will discuss one by one. What is palliative? What is definitive surgical interventions? Coming to the palliative surgery, that is the first surgery for the tetralogy of palate, that is palliative surgery, is modified block touching shunt, that is BT shunt. This is the Viva question they are asking, that is BT shunt. BT shunt means here the they are using to modify the converting the oxygenated blood into the deoxygenated blood into the oxygenated. So here how they are doing means, look at this. Next, the surgical intervention is tube gore tax grafting between the subclavicle artery and the pulmonary artery. Here look at this image. Here this is the subclavicle artery and this is the pulmonary artery. This is the pulmonary artery is divided into two branches, no? That is the right and then left branch. Here what they are doing in tube gore tracks grafting surgery, that they are ligating in between the left subclavian artery and then pulmonary artery. They are diverting the blood flow. So this is the surgical intervention, and then they are maintaining the increased pulmonary blood flow resulting in the high oxygen saturations. Okay, this is about the palliative surgery. The Viva question is for the cyanotic heart disease condition, which surgical intervention they are doing means, that is BT shunt. Okay, block BLALO, Belloc Tuscu shunt. Okay, that is BT shunt. And all of you clear, this is about the palliative surgery. And next, coming to the definitive surgery, that this definitive surgery is done for the, here the four conditions is there, no, in the TOF conditions, that is we should patch close the VSD, and then relief of right ventricular outflow tract obstruction with or without transnular patch across the pulmonary valve. So here the right ventricular is having some VSD, no, right in between the right and then left ventricular VSD is there, no, so you should do the patch closure surgery. This is about the definitive surgical intervention for the TOF. Okay, all of you clear? And next, coming to the long term follow up, how we should follow up, because these TOF conditions is severe conditions, then those children is needed long term follow up to assess the right ventricular outflow tract and monitor the degree of pulmonary insufficiency, and then monitoring the right ventricular functions and exercise tolerance, and monitor for the arrhythmias. Okay, you should monitor the heartbeat, that is bradycardia or tachycardia is there, everything should be evaluated by the ECG. Okay, arrhythmias is there or not, everything should be checked. So the long term follow up is needed for children who are having these conditions, TOF conditions. Okay, coming to the complications, child is suffering with the hypoxia, hypercyanotic spells, polycythemia, congestive heart failure. It is rare, associated with the pink TOF, and right ventricular dysfunction and ventricular arrhythmias, infective endocarditis. These are the complications we will see in the TOF babies. All of you clear? This is about the tetralogy of palate. All of you clear? Just I will give you summarization about this TOF condition. This tetralogy of palate is the most common cyanotic heart disease. In these four conditions is there, that is first one is pulmonary stenosis, ventricular septal defect, overriding of the aorta. Fourth one is right ventricular hypertrophy. Okay, what is here the clinical manifestation? Here the baby is having TET spells, that is hypercyanotic spells is there, and then child is having some cyanotic disorders like clubbing of the nails is there, and whenever we are checking the chest x-ray, the boot shape heart is there, child is suffered with the polycythemia. Okay, the surgical intervention is BT shunt. Okay, this is about the management and then treatment of the um, cyanotic heart disease, that is tetralogy of palate. I hope everybody is understand today.